Thank you for being here today. Grief is an experience that both unifies people and is unique to each person and each time we go through it. Recommendation 1. Give yourself grace and compassion. Allow yourself a period of time when everything feels abnormal. As much as possible, give yourself compassion, grace, and time to heal. Often, grief has an early phase called anticipatory grief. If a person close to you has been diagnosed with a serious illness, there are complications during a pregnancy, you have elderly family members, or know you will lose a pet, you begin to grieve for the impending loss. During anticipatory grief, people feel a range of emotions similar to what they feel after a loss, as well as acute fear for their loved one, for their own future, or for the future of their families, intense anger, or a desire to isolate from others. Anticipatory grief can last anywhere from hours to years. As people age, and if a person develops a serious illness, they too experience anticipatory grief. During anticipatory grief and grief, allow yourself a period of time when everything feels abnormal. As much as possible, give yourself compassion, grace, and time to heal. Even though there is no set period of time for grief, it may be helpful to know that this abnormal time tends to last about the first 6 months. During this time and beyond, see if you can allow yourself even a breath or two every hour to remind yourself that this is grief. This is you experiencing grief. Here is a very short self-compassion practice you can try now if you are grieving, and feel free to change the words so they sound right for you. Start by placing one hand on your upper chest and one on your abdomen, and see if you can feel yourself breathing. See if you can allow your breath to become a little deeper. Say silently to yourself, "This is me experiencing grief. I take the next breath with grace and compassion." And then repeat, "I take the next breath with grace and compassion," as you breathe. Take as many deep breaths, repeating, "I take the next breath with grace and compassion," as you feel comfortable doing, and see how much compassion you can give yourself with each breath. If it helps, think of how you would show compassion to a friend who is experiencing the same thing. When you feel ready, gently draw this to a close. Try this or another short compassion practice or prayer during your day for just a few breaths. Recommendation 2. Safety. As you grieve, you may have desires to do things that are out of character or to take risks you would not usually take. If you feel like you might do one of these things, try to give yourself a cushion of compassion. Recognize that what you are feeling has to do with grief and that you are not alone. Many people feel impulses or urges like what you are feeling, and these feelings do end. After this abnormal time, these things will start to settle down. These choices you want to make are coping mechanisms. You are trying to handle your grief. If you can, before you follow through on one of these choices, although afterward is good too, reach out to a friend, family member, an alcohol or drug sponsor or support group, or a therapist, particularly if you have a history of depression or other mental illness or substance abuse. Grief can trigger an episode of depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, or another mental illness, or a relapse in substance abuse. Below this video, you will find links to information on mental health and substance abuse counselors, including links to free and low-cost counseling. If you fear you will do harm to yourself or someone else, including suicidal feelings, please call your local emergency number or ask someone to help you make that call. With the support of a caring friend, family member, or therapist, you may be able to turn your ideas into safer choices. Recommendation 3. Take time for your health and wellness while you are grieving, and if you have been a caregiver, it can be easy to let your own health care slide. Notice if it might be time for an appointment with your doctor or other healthcare practitioner. There are types of bodywork specifically designed for times when people are grieving. These practices focus on safety, stress relief, and relaxation. Exercise can also be helpful to keep your body moving and stretching through the emotions of grief. See if you can allow yourself the grace to explore different types of exercise and see what feels right for your body. Be as gentle with yourself as you can, and try to remember to drink more water because emotional stress can be dehydrating. Some people appreciate spending time in the comfort of nature, gardening, or caring for indoor plants. Give yourself permission to take breaks in your day to care for your physical and emotional health. Consider bedtime yoga, sleep hypnosis, progressive muscle relaxation, autogenics, or other sleep hygiene techniques. Recommendation 4. Try to give yourself permission to accept kindness. When you are grieving, people tend to offer support and to ask what they can do. This can feel surprising. See if you can give yourself permission to accept this kindness. People would like to do something to lighten the burden of your grief, and it actually makes people feel better when they have a way to help you. If you can, write down a list of what might be nice to delegate, so when someone calls you can say, "Could you help me make some of these phone calls? Take my kids for a sleepover this weekend. Pick up my dry cleaning. Come over and just sit here with me. I don't really want to talk right now. Just be in the same room with me." Recommendation 5. Allow yourself not to be alone with your grief. Grief itself is an isolating feeling. Spend time with pets. Reach out to friends, family, find a grief support group or mental health counselor. Reach out to more than one person and invite people to check in with you regularly. At times, this may be as simple as sending a text to let a friend know how you are doing. At times, a longer conversation. You can find grief support groups hosted by churches, mental health clinics, and medical offices, as well as online. Recommendation 6. Begin to heal. There are times when many of us may not want to start the first steps of healing for fear of losing our connection to the person we love. Yet as we begin to heal, we discover that healing is not the same as forgetting. Some people find healing and comfort right away in community, through memorials, funerals, or other rituals. For others, it takes longer to begin the healing process. Please honor your own healing steps. Some people find comfort in prayer and meditation. Others may be experiencing anger or a loss of faith. Both of these are opportunities to have greater patience and compassion for yourself, to see how present and benevolent you can be with your emotions as you go through this time. Some people may experience spiritual or religious dreams about their loved ones, see signs, hear a person's voice call their name, or have other extraordinary experiences. Try not to discount these messages, particularly if they are comforting. If they are disturbing, you may want to speak to a therapist. If you have not had a comforting message, try not to force it. This does not mean you are not loved or looked out for. Some people create individual healing rituals or practices. On the following screens are ideas for creating your own rituals. If you like, pause the video or return later for inspirations. No matter how long ago a loss happened, you can begin to heal today. Without healing, our emotions feel unsettled. When we experience another loss, the pain can seem even greater. Feelings of bereavement, any loss other than grief, can be similar to grief, and we often recall memories of loss and bereavement during grief, particularly if we haven't had time to soothe these feelings. Grief groups are a good place to begin to process both grief and bereavement. Meditation. This meditation is one you can do if you are currently experiencing grief or bereavement, or if you have feelings of loss or bereavement from the past. Take a moment to find a comfortable position sitting or lying down. As you are finding this place, begin to take some nice, full breaths and pay quiet attention to what your body needs to be comfortable. Roll your shoulders. Stretch your arms and give yourself permission to stretch and shift in any other way you need as you settle into place. Continue to breathe fully, so your breath finds a natural pace for your body. As it does, start to feel your whole body begin to rest back against the chair or the bed. Start to picture a gentle, warm light and energy around you. Light and energy, soft and near your body, like a blanket that fits perfectly to your body, so it easily finds and supports anywhere that needs relaxation, healing, or comfort. You can even think of it as a blanket of stars. This light and energy has exactly the right comfort, solace, and radiant support you have been waiting for. Just breathe deeply as if you were drinking in this comfort, healing energy, or support. Allow your body to rest even more deeply under and into this blanket of light and energy, and let yourself know that you are supported and welcome here. Welcome to be who you are, loved here, cherished here. Whatever you are feeling right now is perfect here within this light and energy. With this light and energy supporting you, place your hands gently over your heart or heart chakra at the center of your upper chest, and see if you can embrace yourself in love, compassion, and kindness. So there is a continuous flow of energy from this loving, generous energy around you, through you embracing your body, all the way into your body, your mind, and your heart. So you are completely supported for whatever you are going through right now. From this place, ask yourself 3 times silently, what would best support me as I take my next step? What would best support me as I take my next step? What would best support me as I take my next step? Knowing that your first answer is the perfect one for you. Take a moment to remember it and to show gratitude for this answer and for yourself for having taken time to do this practice today and to watch this video. Bring your hands to prayer position and start to feel the light and energy around you melt slowly back to a quiet, quiet glow, leaving you feeling refreshed. If you are sitting, feel your feet on the floor. If you are laying down, feel the back of your body against the bed. And when you are ready, slowly open your eyes and take a gentle bow with your head. Thank you.